Hey guys, it's BB202 back with another potential new LEGO Castle set. And this is coming from Series 3 of the Bricklink Designer Program. Now before we even get into this set, I gotta say I'm a little impressed the Bricklink Designer Program's gone on for this long. When they first announced it, honestly I thought it would just be the one series, maybe a second one. But the fact that we're in Series 3 right now, to me, is pretty impressive, and it has shown no signs of slowing down. So the set that's in Series 3 is called Forest Stronghold. It's by a user named Krakenator. I believe this is his first project that's been considered as a potential future set. Good for him. I think it's great to have some new blood in this series. There have already been a couple creators who have already gotten multiple designs in, so new is always going to be good with me. So let's take a look at this thing. My first impression is that it's big, maybe bigger than it needs to be. There are some things that jump out to me immediately that I like. I think the walls are reminiscent of the current LEGO Castle style. I think it would fit with those pretty well, as well as the trees. Fit in really well with the Forest Man Hideout remake set from 2022, as well as the trees in the Lion Knight's castle. Again, the problem is the scale to me, jumping out. I think the overall design works well enough. It looks like the Forestman's Crossing from 1990, just with a Barry Bonds treatment. For those of you who aren't from America, that's a copious amount of steroids. Again, it's bigger than it has to be. Now, that isn't to say that the designer hasn't addressed this. He's actually included a feature where you can split it in two, and both halves look pretty good. They hold up well enough on their own. And there is no shortage of detail and features inside the actual buildings, which sometimes these designers skimp on a little bit, but I think there's enough to do going on inside. And the minifigure selection is generous enough. It has 12, including some Black Falcons. The Forestmen and the Black Falcons haven't appeared in a quote-unquote official set for 2 years now. I think it's good that they're still circulating in some fashion. Hopefully LEGO includes them in a future set. We have the Lion Knights back on the shelves again with the town square. That's good. I like that the Wolf Pack were introduced, but it would be nice to keep the factions that they've brought back recently continuing to show up in sets in some fashion going forward. This is another example of a fan design like the Castle in the Forest from a couple years ago and the Mountain Fortress from earlier this year, where the designer has chosen to go for maximalism and making everything big, really when he didn't need to, as I've said a couple times at this point. When you look at these projects that are showing up in the designer program, they all tend to be hundreds of dollars. There was a project that's up for consideration right now that's in like the 55 to 60 range. I think it's a camping scene. I think there should be more of those. I don't know why we can't have a designer program entry in the castle line that's in that price range. You can do a lot with that price point. Not everything that's considered needs to be a $300 castle. If you have the money for this, go for it. I'm not hating at all. I think it's solid enough. If you can afford it, be my guest. You are limited to 2 copies this time around. I don't know if that was always the case. The rest of the numbers look the same to me as they did last time. Needs 3,000 pre-orders in order to be produced. If it's produced, they can make 30,000 copies of it total if there's enough demand for it. And the pre-ordering starts on October 8th, so it's about a month from now. I think this will sell. There's a castle fan base. People buy these, they eat up these bigger sets, even though I'm kind of bewildered why there are so many bigger sets and not any smaller ones, but maybe that's an outdated viewpoint. It might be. I've always valued the small sets, but if people would rather have just the big display pieces, I guess more power to you. I could always just Bricklink what I want at this point, but it really wouldn't hurt if we had something smaller out there as well, something that I would consider buying at this point, because really, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't have any shelf space left. So if we had something like that, that would be great. But if you guys are interested in this set, go ahead and show Krakenator some support. I will put the link for it in the description of this video. Click, pre-order if you want. Certainly just take the time to view it and show some support any way you can so that LEGO's encouraged to keep giving consideration to these kinds of castle sets. If you guys enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.